go with it.
All of my ketchup, about half of the barbecue sauce, and then all of the mayonnaise. Mayonnaise is a really good base for a special sauce like this.
Okay,
And
starting to cook.
I've got this kosher pickle, and is going to be a perfect special sauce with really no compromise.
We have our beautiful caviar.
This is almost exactly how I'd make it if I was making one for real. As we all know, I'm taking my 2 eggs that I've earned honestly and fairly. 1 egg in the bowl, 2 eggs in the bowl.
It's boiling over. It's probably done too. Hot.
Ramen time. Now, I actually want to plate my finished dish.
Dude, this is working incredibly well. It's kind of
I'm encouraging you to think outside the box.
I'm not judging.
Ramen in.
All right, that should be good. Ooh, oh my God, my freaking pineapple's destroyed.
That's disgusting.
This is
Whatever it is about this, taste it. It's the Max Jerky. It's like caramelized.
really good.
Yeah, it is.
Nice little kick.
I'm leaving it like this on purpose, okay?
That is my sauce.
You saw what I was working with.
Toddler's cooking show or something. Okay, a little bit of squid ink on my pasta.
In the egg, then into the breading. Normally I would dredge them first in flour, then in egg, then in breadcrumbs. I don't have flour. I'm working with what I got.
So I wanted to make a seafood pasta. I'm gonna chop up the lobster that we cooked on the clothing iron.
Come on, Nuggies. Come on.
8 minutes left.
8 minutes? Okay, we're gonna add our beautiful lobster.
They smell so good with the breading. Smell that. Be honest.
They smell like Doritos.
This is awesome. Let's go.
I'm gonna toss my pasta in this beautiful squid ink.
Squid ink pasta all over my floor. Baste them a little bit.
Just tossing the pasta.
Oh my God.
All right, we're just gonna plate it. So I'm gonna gently lay down my pasta.
Max, you stole my plate. You took one of my plates.
I know.
Getting these noodles extremely hot so that I can then add this cheese.
Do you have a cheese grater? Actually, I'm not even allowed to use a cheese grater.
And then I'm gonna use some of the sauce from this Campbell's Chunky Sirloin Burger and Country Vegetable Soup. Just a little bit for flavor.
Get some of this cheese off.
Yeah, nice. Oh, that looks so good.
2 minutes.
Oh, mama. Maybe just the very premium ingredient can cover up the abomination that happened today. Where's the salt? That looks so good, Nick.
I feel good about it.
Oh, we're getting top of it.
I have one. It is. I don't have to eat it. For my appetizer, I've made a potato chip breaded chicken nuggets with some classic special sauce on the side. And for my entree, I've made a shrimp ramen risotto, which has been topped off with some Max Jerky crisps, as well as some toasted peanuts. Delicious.
For my appetizer, we have a beautiful tiger prawn wrapped in Wagyu A5, topped with a toasted pink pineapple. We have, go ahead and say it. And for my entree, we have a squid ink lobster pasta topped with the most fresh cheese and a beautiful tomato sauce.
You cooked like you were blind.
I couldn't get anything to cook. Well, it may not look pretty. There's only one way to find out.
All right, guys, appetizer, chicken nugget situation, and lots of caviar. And that's fun. It's not bad.
Really?
Ooh, good price. Just like fried artichoke. Yeah, that's all it's missing for me. It's like the bite, because there's no real chicken.
Creativity, that's pretty good. 7.5 out of 10.
I'll take that.
Let's move on to Wagyu.
Caviar, pineapple. Yum.
It's amazing. I'm serious.
Is that a skewer? Max, hold on. Did you leave 2 wooden skewers in there? Seriously?
I see where you're going with the little Wagyu wrap. The pineapple chart, please, an 8.2.
We might have a chance here. In time? I don't want to talk about it.
Okay,
Could you see when you were making this? Would you like me to make you a bite?
sure.
Would you like me to feed you? There you go.
Wow. You get that cheesy sauce. Noodles are perfect. You get the peanuts, 9.5 out of 10.
That's probably the highest score I've ever received.
What is a black log?
This
That's raw.
The lobster is really nicely cooked. You get a little bit of a sear taste. Tomato sauce also great. The pasta is a little too rare. 2.5 out of 10.
Sophia.
I mean, you really tried. You really tried.
Nice.
And congratulations, Nick. This is for you.
Well, there it is, guys. Congratulations to Nick. I'll get you next time. And we'll see you guys.
Today we're tasting the world.
Someone already did a solo to Grandmaster with just the thing.
It ain't easy being this strong or this handsome.
Thanos fans everywhere are about to kill me in this comment section, alright? The truth is, these two Hulks right here are not the same. They might take place in the same universe, in the same canon, but they are different. And I don't mean just in terms of the actor or the look. I mean in terms of their power level as well. Hulk is my boy. He's one of my favorite Marvel superheroes of all time, ever. If for me,
I'm not looking at the chat. I'll have the
what the heck
fucking
is
video on my
She-Hulk
screen.
doing? Get the hell out of here, man. Sorry about that. For me, I have an assistant who makes these slideshows for me, named Macro. He does more drugs than I do. Okay. It's for me. It's Daredevil, Spider-Man,
just
and the Hulk.
entertaining
Those are my
myself.
top 3 Marvel heroes ever created.
I'm not entertained by playing this thing. I'm just
In the MCU particularly, it's changed. For me, it's like
I'm just
Daredevil,
zombie
Charlie Cox and Daredevil is like,
grinding.
in my opinion, like the GOAT.
That's how I call it. Zombie
Rogers
grinding.
and the Thor, specifically Ragnarok Thor and Infinity War Thor. I think that's the perfect balance of drama and comedy, like when Taika Waititi lost his goddamn mind and did Love and Thunder. But something always, Hulk was always like a side piece in these Avengers movies and the Thor movies as well. Like, I was like, every time he's in a movie with these guys, he's sidelined to like just the dude that's the big dude that's funny and rages out. And I liked him in the first Avengers. I liked him in Thor Ragnarok. I like that Thor beat his ass. I like the fact that Thor showed his full power. But ever since then, we've been gaslit into seeing Hulk get his ass whooped. It's like it's been normalized. It's like a fetish for Marvel to see Hulk get ritually humiliated. He got bitched in Infinity War, and then Endgame was. Why? What? This guy's a fucking nerd. Nothing against nerds. I'm a nerd myself. The Hulk should not be a nerd. I don't care what Professor Hulk from the comic books. Ooh, it's propaganda. I don't care. This is not what Hulk should be. What is this? I never liked Mark Ruffalo's Bruce Banner that much. I was fine with him in Avengers. I'm just a Hulk fan, so I'm okay with any iteration. Because Bruce Banner was a dorky, awkward, shy, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with Bruce Banner being that. But as the movies went on, especially in Infinity War, after he got bitched by Thanos, his line delivery, something about Mark Ruffalo's Bruce Banner just changed him. Everything, him trying to speak, him trying to make jokes, it's just like, he's like a schizophrenic weirdo. He's not just a normal nerd. And I don't like his romance with Black Widow at all, by the way. In Age of Ultron, that was one of my least favorite things about it. I think it ruined both their characters. It's just so uninteresting to me. It came out of nowhere, no build up to it at all. We're just supposed to be thrown into it and assume these two like each other, even though I don't like them. I just don't buy it.
Don't mess with
And now we're gonna see Red Hulk get his ass whipped by But come on, man. I'm supposed to act like I love Falcon, but I'm supposed to act like he wouldn't get his ass demolished and torn in half in a minute of fighting Red Hulk. No. We gotta go back. I am a fan of angry Hulk. I consider it underrated. I know people find it boring and stuff. This movie went deeper than most superheroes probably even should. This is about trauma more than about the Hulk. Okay, I enjoyed it. I like Edward Norton's Bruce Banner more than Mark Ruffalo. I always have. I don't care if that's a hot take. I don't even think it is anymore after what they've done to the Hulk in the MCU. This dude, yeah, he's not the nerdiest interpretation of the character. He's serious, and Edward Norton did have fucking problems with the studio and the writers. He wanted to make his own movie with this. But I think it helped his performance. I think it helped how dramatic Bruce Banner was in this. I love this Hulk. I don't care if this is a dumb cheesy movie. This Hulk is a Chad. We need to get back to this. The Hulk in Infinity War. I'm sorry, this guy's not going down that easy to Thanos, okay? There's no way the Hulk is going. Listen, I liked seeing Thanos beat his ass because it represented it just showed us how big of a threat Thanos was, right? But Hulk got done the same way Jose Aldo did by Connor in like 13 seconds.
Anyone willing to help?
I'm sorry, if the Incredible Hulk is facing off against Thanos, it's going to. Thanos will still win. At this point in time, no one is beating Thanos. Thanos is on a mission. It's going to take him a couple rounds. He's going to have to grapple. Thanos is trying to throw a hand. I don't care what Muay Thai fight style he uses. He's going to try to shoot a double leg on that Hulk. Hulk ain't going down that easy. He's going to get wrestled and submitted. I really hope he's Incredible Hulk. Action-wise is good. The music in that movie is incredible. It's really good. The fights. What else could you want from yeah, it's a dumb cheesy superhero movie, but compared to the schlock we get now from Marvel, we need to appreciate this film. If you go back and watch it, you'll actually see how well done it really was. The final fight's pretty awesome. Now, this Hulk is so goddamn strong, he looks nothing like Edward Norton. Every Hulk looks like they're the person they transformed from, like the new Hulk, right? This guy doesn't look, I get it, Edward Norton maybe doesn't have that face that could work with the Hulk, but this guy looks, he's so strong, he's a different entity entirely. The Abomination as a villain can show you how powerful this interpretation of the Hulk is. I'm about to show you, right? This dude, I'm not talking about the kiddie Abomination that we see now in She-Hulk and Shang-Chi, this piece of shit right here, alright? I know he looks comic accurate, but whoa, what the hell is this guy even doing in this shot? I'm talking about the man who got shot with a full-on missile and took it like it was nothing. He smoked that shit like Soldier Boy did when Bubba's Milk tried to shoot a fucking smoke grenade at him.
I'm just laughing my eyes like you're just
Happened
listening to my
Hulk, he gets
shit.
hit by a Jeep and ragdolled?
I'm barely, I don't even
by
feel
a
like
Jeep in She-Hulk. I get it. Oh,
just
the
chilling.
people are gonna say, oh, the Jeep was made for Hulks, you know, it's made to be durable. I don't
The DCU used to gross between $800 million and $1 billion per movie at the box office, and had everything to compete with Marvel. But this shared
That's funny
universe
as hell.
ended badly. It hit rock bottom to the point that Warner had to reboot the entire universe before closing the story arcs of its main characters. They fired their most important actors. No one wants to work for DC, and their last 7 movies were box office flops. All went wrong. Let's talk about the rise and fall of the DCU. It all started in 2010, when DC was a very well-established brand. Batman Begins had been loved by everyone, and The Dark Knight just became the highest-grossing superhero movie in history. So DC was a synonym of quality and money. Their animated universe was 1,000 times better than Marvel's, except for Earth's Mightiest Heroes. The
I'd
Arkham
love
Saga
to show
was an
my lord,
absolute
but-
success, and in previous decades they had win after win. Christopher Reeve's Superman had been a hit. Linda Carter's Series 2, and even the Flash series of the 90s and Smallville had been well received. The only area in which DC was losing was in the sale of comics in the US. It was the only area where they were outperformed by Marvel. But since the big profits are not in comic book sales, no DC executive cared about this.
All they care about is money.
But DC's superiority wasn't going to last forever. Seeing the success of Iron Man in 2008, Warner saw that the competition could catch up and overtake them in a couple of years. Marvel Studios was introducing a shared universe in cinemas for the first time, replicating the comic book formula. They didn't do standalone movies, they made crossovers with all the characters together. Nowadays, it's the most normal thing in the world, but in the early 2000s, all the Hollywood studios thought the idea would be a failure until Marvel proved it could be done.
Best idea ever!
DC was 2 steps behind, but they had an ace up their sleeve, the movie rights to all their characters. Marvel couldn't use their biggest heroes, like Spider-Man, the X-Men, and the Fantastic Four, because their rights were owned by other studios. But if Warner wanted to, they could use the Justice League, the Teen Titans, the Legion of Superheroes, and the Doom Patrol with no problems. They could replicate Marvel's success faster than Marvel. Warner tried to convince Christopher Nolan to feature more superheroes in his Batman saga, but the director refused, so they started from scratch with the most important superhero in history, Superman. They chose Zack Snyder as director because he was one of Warner's most trusted men at the time. Snyder had directed Watchmen and 300, 2 comic book adaptations that had pleased some fans and had been applauded by critics. Snyder knew how to adapt comic book concepts and add his own touch to them. He seemed to be the right guy for DC to maintain its quality brand, but now in a shared universe. Man of Steel's production began in 2010, and the film hit theaters in 2013, a year after The Dark Knight. It grossed $668 million, more than any DC film ever, except for The Dark Knight. Not everyone loved it, because some said this wasn't their Superman, or that it was unacceptable for the Man of Steel to kill. But overall, the reception was good. The soundtrack was great, the special effects were spectacular, and it delivered as an origin story. It held up pretty good over the years, and was successful enough that Warner decided to continue with that universe, with Henry Cavill's Superman as the main figure and Zack Snyder in charge of the story. So they greenlit Batman v Superman. This film's announcement at Comic-Con in 2013 was crazy. It would be the first movie crossover of the 2 biggest superheroes in the world. It would include nods to The Dark Knight Returns, one of the best Batman comics ever. Many had doubts about Ben Affleck's casting as Bruce Wayne, because his version of Daredevil had been awful. But the level of hype surrounding Batman v Superman was superior to that of Avengers 1. To kill the 3-year wait between the announcement and the release of the film, Warner announced more projects in the shared universe. Suicide Squad, Flash, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and Justice League. It was all looking good because it would be a short time before we would see the Justice League together in theaters. But then Batman v Superman quickly became the most controversial superhero movie.
Yep,
Some
they
people
killed the
loved the
Invisible
movie
Woman.
and said it was the best thing DC
Has to be
ever
both
made.
the
One of
tornado
best superhero
and the
movies
fucking
ever made.
fire.
Snyder was the second
firestorm.
coming of Christ. But another part of the audience hated the movie because of the market scene, the characterization of Batman and Superman, the stilted conflict, the depressing tone, how useless Lois Lane is, Superman's premature death, and a Lex Luthor that looked more like the Joker. This was just the second DCU project, but it wasn't equivalent to Thor 1, which was the second MCU project. DC put their two most important characters together, threw in Wonder Woman, and also introduced the entire Justice League. This was their Avengers one, but people didn't come out loving it like they did with Avengers. It didn't even get the lukewarm reception of Age of Ultron. A portion of the audience left the cinema cursing after seeing Batman v Superman, but at least it did well at the box office. Or did it? Batman v Superman grossed $870 million. It was more than profitable, but it fell short of the $1 billion that many Avengers films used to gross, and fell short of being the biggest crossover in history. To top it off, Marvel released their own Batman v Superman 2 months later, also facing their most important heroes, and they grossed $1.5 billion. People liked it.
Why can't I be like you?
Warner panicked. Maybe the problem had been the tone, the director, the script, the expectations, or rushing to compete with Marvel. They could fix that for Justice League, but Suicide Squad was going to be released in August that very same year. The film had the same tone as Batman v Superman, and featured Ben Affleck as Batman. They did what any sensible studio would do: hire a team of tailor editors to remake the entire film and distance it from
I am ready to put on a show! Just be that stupid!
To everyone's surprise, Suicide Squad was not a box office. It grossed $746 million, more than Man of Steel with a smaller budget. But the reactions were, Suicide Squad gets to the top in every single way.
See, she's not
Worst
standing
superhero
still
movies.
inside the
Did
fucking
you hate Batman v Superman? You probably hated Suicide
And the
Squad. too.
firestorm.
Did you love Batman v Superman? You probably also hated Suicide Squad. Warner panicked again because they weren't doing bad at the box office. It was only a matter of time before audiences abandoned them. How many more times were we going to go to the movies to have disappointed? It's not like tickets were free, and even if they were free, no one wants to go to the cinema to see 2 hours of that. On top of that, The Flash was having production problems and was delayed indefinitely. But then they did one thing right. In June 2017 came Wonder Woman, which had been one of the best parts of Batman v Superman. The movie had no direct connections to Snyder's film because Diana's story took place in the past. It was a well-told origin story with good special effects, and it followed the fish out of water formula, just like Thor 1, but it did it better than Thor. Wonder Woman grossed $822 million, and it became a huge success for Warner because this time people loved the movie. The critics loved it, Snyder fans loved it, Snyder haters loved it, and most importantly, the general audience liked the character and were willing to see Diana again.
Love her. Love her.
It's as if Warner had gone back in time to late 2013 when the audience had hopes for the DCU and everyone wanted to see a crossover after the success of Man of Steel. That suited them just fine because after Wonder Woman, they were going to release Justice League, and that movie had to do well no matter what. They had a second chance, and they blew it. Despite the Batman v Superman controversy, Warner kept Snyder as the director of Justice League and went ahead with their plan. Zack wanted to make 2 Justice League movies in which Superman would be revived. Darkseid would attack Earth and control the Man of Steel, and finally, the heroes would defeat the villain. However, they didn't shoot the 2 films at the same time, as happened with Matrix Reloaded and Revolutions. They were going to make 1 film at a time, something that already showed that Warner didn't have all the faith in the world in this project.
I don't trust you.
Still, the script was ready, Snyder was in charge of filming, post-production started, and we saw a first preview at the 2016 Comic-Con. But then, the director had to abandon the project due to the death of his daughter. This is where all the conspiracy theories start. Some believe that Warner used this tragedy as an excuse to push Snyder aside because they didn't trust his vision for the DCU. Justice League was going to have a similar tone to Batman v Superman, so the studio feared that the reactions would be similar to the ones in 2016, and they tried to change everything on the fly, like they had done with Suicide Squad.
Something familiar about all this.
And I'm sure you've noticed something doesn't add up. If Warner didn't trust Snyder after Batman v Superman, why did they hire him again to direct the most important film in the DCU? They could have changed directors before they started working on Justice League and avoid all this problem. There is an explanation for that. In 2016, AT&T, the phone company, bought Warner. This led to a restructuring of the entire company, mainly in senior positions. Walter Hamada, who had worked at Warner since the 2000s, gained a ton of power. The good old Walter wasn't very convinced by Snyder's vision of superheroes. He wanted to see brighter characters, something closer to the comics, so it was obvious that he wasn't going to continue with Snyder's plans anytime soon. There's no way of knowing if Hamada and company took advantage of the tragedy in Snyder's life to pivot, or if they were going to do it anyway. What we do know is that as soon as Snyder was out of the project, they brought in Joss Whedon. The the director of Avengers 1 and 2, and Jeff Johns, one of the most important comic book writers in recent history. They were going to finish the post-production of Justice League, and everybody keeps saying the same thing, that this was a mistake because they shouldn't have replaced Snyder. But what did they want Warner to do? Snyder didn't sprain his ankle. He had just gone through one of the most traumatic situations a person can go through. No one knew if he would ever direct again, and if he did come back, he could be able to do it 5 years later. Warner couldn't hold up production on Justice League indefinitely. They had already released a trailer, announced the release date, booked theaters, and got fans excited. They were going to lose hundreds of millions of dollars if they waited indefinitely.
I want my money back.
As insensitive as it sounds, it made sense to replace because this wasn't an independent B-movie project. But that doesn't mean they got it right. Instead of simply finishing post-production, Joss Whedon made reshoots for 2 months. The goal was to change the tone of the film to make it more family-friendly, and also to leave out any promise of Justice League Part 2, because Warner wanted to restructure the entire DCU, and they weren't planning on calling back Zack Snyder to continue his story. This turned out like crap. Joss Whedon told Warner that he needed more time to remake the film the way the studio wanted, but Warner didn't want to change the dates, so the end result was a Frankenstein monster no one liked. The shift in tone didn't work, the reshoots felt out of place, there were several unresolved subplots, the story of the Russian family felt shoehorned in, and the special effects were not finished. The only redeemable thing about this movie was seeing Superman being a hero, something Henry Cavill himself said he really liked.
That's my hero.
Too bad we also saw him with a CGI-covered mustache. Justice League grossed $657 million, the worst box office result of the entire DCU up to that point. Something twice as serious, because it had also been the most expensive project. Everybody's reactions were horrible, comparable to what happened with Suicide Squad, but in this case, the repercussions would be much worse. This was DC's most important film, and people hadn't liked it one bit. It's as if Avengers 1 had been a failure at the box office and audience reception. The MCU would have died in phase 1. The following months were terrible because Ray Fisher, who played Cyborg, denounced Joss Whedon for labor abuse. Gal Gadot also complained. Warner fired Fisher. Whedon was canceled on social media. Accusations were shot from all sides. Jeff Johns was caught in the crossfire. There was a power struggle at Warner. Ben Affleck said he wouldn't be Batman again, and it seemed like things were getting worse. DC should have been dead in 2017, but DC has more lives than ever. In 2018, they released Aquaman, which had been filmed in 2017. Being a sequel to Justice League, it had everything to be a flop, but Warner had to release it anyway because they already had finished the movie. Surprisingly, it did well. Sorry, well is an understatement. It did remarkably well. Aquaman grossed $1.1 billion. It became the highest grossing film in the DCU by far, and also the highest grossing film in DC's history, even more than Nolan's Batman. Wow. There wasn't a lot of hype around the movie, and critics thought it was so-so. Casual audiences loved it. It was a typical superhero origin story, but it worked. Just like
She have like an
Man of Steel
aneurysm or
and
something?
Wonder Woman.
What the fuck is
Plus,
she?
underwater sequences were excellent, something we'd never seen before. But of course, Aquaman wasn't going to be. People were still wary of the DC brand after so many flops and disappointments, and the fandom of the shared universe had disappeared. But if Aquaman had topped $1 billion thanks to a refreshing story that the general public had liked, then not everything was lost for this universe. DC had a third chance.
Third time's the charm, right?
DC focused on standalone movies with lighter tone and smaller budgets, like Shazam and Birds of Prey. Shazam was a fun comedy for the whole family, and people liked it. It even fed the hype a bit, because the last scene featured Henry Cavill's Superman, or someone wearing Cavill's Superman suit. The movie grossed $367 million, less than any other DC project at that point, but it barely cost $100 million, not over $300 like Justice League. So it was profitable for Warner. It wasn't a big hit, but it made some money.
I like money.
Birds of Prey was even cheaper, just $84 million, but fell short at the box office, grossing only $205 million. Warner wanted to target the female audience and Harley Quinn fans, of which there are many, but that wasn't enough. Why not? This was a sequel to the worst film in the DCU. It was obvious that people wouldn't want to go to the cinema to see Birds of Prey, because they still had the bad taste in their mouths from Suicide Squad. Also, a month after the premiere, the pandemic started, and cinemas all over the world were closed.
Bad luck.
Wonder Woman 2, the sequel to one of the most successful films of this universe, was supposed to hit theaters in June 2020, but the apocalypse complicated things. With the emergence of streaming as a possible replacement for cinema, Warner made a simultaneous release in December 2020. Wonder Woman 2 hit a few theaters, and the same day it premiered on HBO Max. That explains the pathetic $169 million it grossed. grossed. What did they expect? Theaters were closed almost everywhere in the planet. They should have waited a couple months so people could actually go to the cinema to watch the movie. But there was another
But our
problem.
Punisher was
Reactions were
retarded.
not the same as the first part, because Wonder Woman 1984 was not as good as the first part. It didn't destroy the character's image, or what little fandom there
1,300.
was. But it didn't help either. It didn't make people fall in love with DC again. And nobody asked for a Wonder Woman 3.
Oh, I don't want to see that.
And Warner had one.
Homelander, Vought's prized creation, the leader of the Seven, and the most powerful soup in the boys' universe. And Metro Man, the one and only guardian of Metro City, or Metrocity, and presumably the most powerful soup in his universe as well. One of these guys is a laboratory experiment, and one of them was the last hope of a dying world. But both of these characters are very akin to Superman, but are kind of different once you look deeper into them. Seeing as how the boys is coming back this week, I think there's no better time to talk about this matchup. I always see people put Homelander up against Superman or Omni-Man. That's just unfair spite. But putting him against Metro Man might be a little bit more fair. Or is it? Because yeah, Metro Man is kind of seen as featless in the general power scaling community. I've unironically heard people say that he's wall level. So hey, if he's wall level,
On January 10th, the United States of America delivered its biggest and one of the most devastating economic blows to Russia. A new set of sanctions that could trigger a severe financial crisis in Moscow, the worst since the start of the Ukraine war. What makes it even better is that the impact of the sanctions is already being felt. Russia's most important oil buyers, India and China, are now backing off, refusing to purchase Russian crude. You see, for these last 3 years, Russia has managed to dodge most of Western sanctions by redirecting its oil exports to Asia. When Europe cut off Russian crude, India and China stepped in, taking advantage of steep discounts, alternative payment methods, and a shared interest in reducing Western financial dominance. Russia's oil trade has survived by operating through a vast network of shadowy deals, third-party intermediaries, and fleets of unregulated tankers that helped it move oil outside of Western-controlled shipping channels and without relying on Western-controlled shipping insurance. Payments were processed through alternative bank routes using currencies like the yuan, dirhams, and rupees. But with this latest wave of sanctions, that entire system is beginning to crumble. For example, Indian banks have now started freezing transactions. Chinese ports, which previously welcomed Russian tankers without hesitation, are now outright refusing to let them dock. These actions send a clear and undeniable message that the latest round of U.S. sanctions is unlike anything Russia has faced before. It is stronger, more targeted, and for the first time, it is directly crippling Russia's ability to sell oil to its last remaining major customers. So what exactly happened on January 10th? Well, the U.S. launched a direct financial and logistical assault on Russia's oil empire. Washington blacklisted 183 shipping vessels, most of which were the illegal tankers that formed the backbone of Moscow's shadow fleet. The U.S. also sanctioned some of Russia's largest oil firms, including Gazprom Neft and Sovneftegaz, companies responsible for moving billions of dollars in crude sales annually. Even buyers willing to risk purchasing Russian oil are now struggling to do so legally. On top of that, the U.S. shut down several of Russia's key financial pathways for processing oil payments. Banks in India, China, and the UAE, which had quietly facilitated Russian transactions, are now under immense pressure to cut ties. This means that even if Russia finds a buyer, getting paid is becoming nearly impossible. Sure, the U.S. and its allies have imposed hundreds of thousands of sanctions on Russia before. They targeted Russian banks, industries, and oligarchs since the beginning of the war. But never have sanctions been this effective, this targeted, or this devastating to Russia's core economic lifeline. So in this video, we'll break down exactly how these new sanctions work, who they target, and why they are far more effective than the previous ones. We'll also take a closer look at Russia's shadow fleet, how it is operated up until now, and why it's collapsing. Then we'll go on to block payments, why Indian banks are suddenly freezing transactions, and why Chinese refineries are rejecting Russian crude, and what all this means for Moscow's financial stability in the long run. And finally, we'll examine the global impact. Will these sanctions drive oil prices up, or will Russia be forced to sell at rock-bottom prices just to survive? And of course, we'll also analyze how Putin's government might fight back, what countermeasures, if any, they can take to work around these sanctions. But before we dive in, do us a quick favor and drop a like on this video. It's a small gesture that helps us out tremendously and gets this content out to more people. All right, now let's get into it. When we talk about economic sanctions, it's easy to assume that they're just simple restrictions, a diplomatic slap on the wrist meant to send a message. But the sanctions rolled out on January 10th, 2025 are something entirely different. At the core of these sanctions is the designation of major Russian oil companies on the Specially Designated Nationals, or SDN, list. That term alone sounds pretty bureaucratic, but what it really means is that the biggest players in Russia's oil industry, the lifeblood of the country's economy, are now treated as financial pariahs on the global stage. Their assets are frozen, their transactions blocked, and any business dealing with them risks getting burned. Let's break this down into something more tangible. The SDN list is essentially the financial blacklist managed by the U.S. Office of Foreign Assets Control, the OFAC. Any entity or individual placed on this list is treated as a forbidden entity in global finance. The moment a company lands on the SDN list, its assets in the United States or U.S.-controlled institutions are immediately frozen. That means if they have funds sitting in a U.S. bank, yeah, they can just But it doesn't stop there. The real power of the SDN designation lies in how it affects foreign businesses and financial institutions. You see, the US dollar dominates oil trade, and most major financial transactions, even if they're happening between two non-US countries, flows through US financial systems at some point. If a European bank, an Indian trader, or even a Chinese shipping company is caught doing business with an SDN-listed Russian oil company, they risk getting cut off from the US financial system themselves. No more access to US dollars, Western insurance, or even basic banking operations. That's why this move is so deadly. The Russian government might tell the world it doesn't care about sanctions and that it can work around them, but the reality is that no major oil company can survive for long if it's locked out of global finance. The new round of sanctions specifically targets some of Russia's biggest and most influential oil companies, including Gazprom Neft and Surgutneftgaz. To put this in perspective, Gazprom Neft is a massive state-controlled oil giant, directly tied to the Kremlin. It's responsible for over 10% of Russia's total oil production, and much of its revenue flows straight into the Russian government's war budget. Then there's Surgutneftgaz, a company that's always been a bit of a mystery. Unlike most Russian oil firms, which have clear state ownership, Surgutneftgaz has a complicated and secretive structure. It's widely believed that a significant portion of its undisclosed ownership ties back to the Russian government and powerful elites. By placing these companies on the SDN list, the US and the UK are directly targeting the financial lifelines of Russia's ruling elite. Coming back to the same question, hasn't the West sanctioned Russia's oil companies before? The answer is yes, but not like this.
Tired of playing.
Previous sanctions were often targeted at individual oil projects or specific exports, meaning Russia could still find ways to sell oil through alternative routes. But this new approach goes after the entire financial ecosystem that makes Russia's oil trade possible. So, in simple points, as soon as the companies were placed on the SDN list, all U.S. and financial institutions cut ties immediately. That means no access to dollars, no loans, no Western insurance, and no ability to conduct routine transactions. Similarly, even foreign companies working with Gazprom Neft face massive risks. If a bank in Singapore or Dubai tries to facilitate a transaction for Gazprom Neft, it could itself be sanctioned, making everyone wary of doing business with Russian oil. That's why for these last few weeks, oil traders have been scrambling to find alternative buyers and payment systems. Even if some countries, like India or China, are still willing to buy Russian oil, Putin now has tiny leverage. So countries can now demand even steeper discounts and impose stricter payment terms. Maybe that's why India has just frozen payments instead of just declining, but we'll get to that part soon. But it's not just the oil companies that are being choked off. The people and businesses that make Russia's oil trade function are also being targeted with these sanctions. The logic is simple. An oil company doesn't work in isolation. It relies on logistic providers, financial intermediaries, insurance firms, traders, and shipping companies. Take oil traders, for example. These are the people who connect Russian oil sellers with buyers in foreign markets. They're the middlemen who negotiate deals, arrange the transport, and handle payments. By sanctioning individual oil traders and brokerage firms, The US and the UK are cutting off the arteries that move Russian oil through the global economy. And then there's the insurance problem. One of the biggest reasons oil can flow smoothly across borders is because of maritime insurance. Companies won't ship oil unless their cargo is insured. Most global oil shipments are covered by Western insurances, especially in London. Now, under these new sanctions, Western insurers are banned from covering shipments of Russian oil if the companies are involved in the SD list. This means that even if Russia can find willing buyers, it now has a massive logistical nightmare. How do you ship millions of barrels of crude oil without insurance? Similarly, senior officials inside Russian oil companies are also being sanctioned. This means that key executives and decision-makers in Gazprom-Neft, Surgutneftegas, and sanctioned firms cannot travel to the US or Europe. They cannot open foreign bank accounts or engage in financial transactions in Western institutions. On a side note, many of these individuals have loads of personal wealth stashed in foreign accounts, own property in Europe, and do business abroad. And now they're being locked out, and their assets are being frozen. In simple words, it's one punch and two targets. Hit the companies, workers financially, and isolate the individuals who run them, making it clear that they can't escape these consequences. Here are a few names of high-profile Russian individuals who have been added to OFAC's SD list. Let's start with Yusuf Vagitovich Alekberov. Yusuf is the son of Dagit Alekberov, one of the founders of Unemployed, Russia's largest private oil company. Unlike his father, who built an empire in crude production, Yusuf carved out his own niche in oil field services, founding Unemployed, a company that keeps Russia
ready to keep on rocking.
So, Squirrel called me annoying. Oh, fucking Craig.
His drilling operations running smoothly. Every time a well needs servicing, every time a rig breaks down, every time a pipeline needs maintenance, companies like WellTech step in to make sure the oil keeps flowing. And that is precisely why OFAC is going after him. You don't just hit the oil producers, you go after the infrastructure that allows them to function. By targeting WellTech, the sanctions are choking off the technical and logistical support that keeps Russian oil production stable. Without companies like WellTech, Russia can still pump oil, but everything else is slower, riskier, and more expensive. Yusuf, his company can't do business with the West. He can't receive payments in dollars, and every foreign investor will now treat him like he's radioactive. Now meet Peter Mikhailovich Bobolev. He's the head of the Department for Coal Industry Development at the Ministry of Energy. Bobolev is the one overseeing Russia's policies on coal mining, export, and investments. Now you might be wondering, why coal? Isn't oil and gas Russia's real moneymaker? Well, here's the thing. While Russia's oil and gas industry gets most of the attention, coal is quietly funding Moscow's war machine. Europe may have cut back on Russian gas, but Russian coal still makes its way into Asia, especially China and India. These sanctions are aimed at sabotaging that revenue stream. By hitting Bobolev, the US and the UK aren't just taking down a bureaucrat, they are disrupting the planning, funding, and international deals that keep Russia's coal empire running. Then there's Alexei Likhachev. He's the CEO and head of Rosatom, the state nuclear energy corporation. Rosatom is the engine behind Russia's civilian and military nuclear programs, and Likhachev is the man at the helm. He oversees everything from uranium enrichment to nuclear reactor exports, from fuel supplies to the construction of power plants in foreign countries. Clearly, Rosatom is an international player. It supplies nuclear fuel to reactors across Europe, Asia, and the Middle East, making it one of Russia's most influential state-controlled enterprises. And that's why the sanction targets it. It's more about crippling Russia's long-term nuclear dominance. For years, Rosatom has been expanding its grip on the global nuclear fuel market. It has built reactors in Turkey, financed power plants in Hungary, and supplied enriched uranium to customers across the world. The sanctions aim to sever those relationships, making it harder for Rosatom to operate internationally, sign new contracts, or access Western technology. But these are just 3 names. There are 34 more individuals on this new sanctions list, and each of them holds a vital position within the Russian state. And when you put all of this together, you begin to see just how brutal and devastating these sanctions really are. Russia isn't just losing money, they might also be losing the people who keep its industries running, the ones who sign the deals, move the shipments, and handle the negotiations. But here's the thing, we're just getting started. Remember when we mentioned the Shadow Fleet? That sanction-dodging lifeline that has been keeping Russia's oil flowing?
I'm gonna go take a piss. I'm still at 1300. I'm actually about to get this dude fucking murdered. Oh my god. Okay.
Despite Western restrictions, well, with this latest round of sanctions, 183 vessels have been blacklisted. Most of them are primarily oil tankers, the kind that have been ferrying Russian crude under false flags, through opaque shipping routes and via secret deals with willing buyers. And the impact is devastating. By officially designating these vessels as sanctioned, the US and the UK are effectively freezing their assets, blocking all transactions involving them, and cutting them off from vital maritime services. That means no insurance, no maintenance, no legal port access in Western-aligned nations. To truly understand how catastrophic this is for Russia, you first need to know the role of the Shadow Fleet. Now, these aren't your standard commercial vessels operating under well-regulated trade laws. The Shadow Fleet is Russia's black market navy, a massive network of ships that skirt regulations, dodge inspections, and manipulate records to ensure Russian oil continues to flow despite sanctions. These ships use a wide array of deceptive tactics. One of the most common tricks is sailing under a flag of convenience. Instead of openly flying the Russian flag, these ships register themselves under small, laxly regulated countries that have weak enforcement mechanisms, like Panama, Liberia, or even smaller Pacific Island nations. These fake flags make it easier for ships to avoid scrutiny, skirt international rules, and keep operating under a false identity. Then there's the AIS manipulation. You see, every large vessel is supposed to use an automatic identification system, a tracking system that tells global monitoring stations where the ship is, where it's going, and what it's carrying. But the Shadow Fleet has mastered the art of tampering with AIS. Some turn it off intentionally, vanishing from tracking systems like ghost ships. Others spoof their location. Imagine a tanker appearing to be off the coast of Oman, when in reality it's in the middle of the Indian Ocean, quietly offloading crude. And then we have ship-to-ship transfers, another method designated to launder the origin of Russian oil. Here's how it works. Instead of a Russian tanker delivering oil directly to a sanctioned country, it meets another ship in the middle of the ocean, often in places like the Mediterranean or the South China Sea. In a secretive, carefully coordinated operation, they transfer the oil mid-sea. By the time the second ship delivers the oil to its buyer, whether it's India, China, or another willing market, it's nearly impossible to trace it back to Russia. But that's not all. The ownership of these vessels is hidden behind a complex corporate structure of shell companies, fake addresses, and anonymous offshore accounts. A single ship might be owned by a firm in Dubai, managed by a company in Hong Kong, and operated by an entity in Greece, making it nearly impossible for authorities to track who's truly behind the transactions. This is a deliberate obfuscation designed to slow down enforcement efforts and keep the Shadow Fleet.
Are you actually watching?
Now, let's be clear, Russia didn't invent this system. The Shadow Fleet concept has been around for decades, first making headlines when Iran and Venezuela used similar methods to evade Western sanctions. But so far, Russia's network is the biggest ever. Estimates suggest Russia has built a fleet of over 400 tankers, many of them old, poorly maintained, and often some of these ships are more than 15 years old, meaning they are dangerously close to the end of their operational lifespans. And yet, they continue sailing. Without them, Russia's ability to sell oil. So, what happens now? Well, it goes without saying, these ships can no longer dock in Western aligned ports. They won't be able to get now you might argue, why average old folk that's almost in retirement care about insurance? Well, you see, insurance is not necessarily touch an uninsured tanker because it exposes them to an enormous financial and environmental risks. One accident, one oil spill, liability could be in the billions. And when you consider how old and worn down these tankers are, the risk of catastrophe grows exponentially. But beyond the environmental concerns, there's geopolitical chaos. If Russia's shadow fleet starts running out of safe ports, insurance, and
you're not even busy.
We'll turn to riskier and more secret channels. China and India may need to step in to help, but they won't do so out of goodwill. They will demand even steeper discounts on Russian crude, tightening their grip on Moscow's already weakening economic leverage. And if that happens, Russia's oil profits shrink even further. This brings us to the third one. Why are Indian banks suddenly freezing transactions? Why are Chinese refiners rejecting Russian crude? Most importantly, Moscow's long-term economic survival. You see, within a few days of the sanctions announcement, major Indian refiners such as Indian Oil Corporation, IOCL, and Bharat.
Oh yeah, you said it usually gets busy around like 12.
Began pausing their purchases of major ships. But for the past 2 years, India has been Russia's most loyal customer, buying upward of 1.7 million barrels per day at steep discounts. When Russia was slapped with thousands of sanctions, India didn't care. They kept doing this for 3 years straight. For months, India had found creative ways to work around sanctions. Indian refiners had paid for Russian crude in alternative currencies, like dirhams, yuan, and rupees, allowing them to bypass direct exposure to Western financial systems. But this latest round of sanctions went even further. This time, it wasn't just the oil companies being targeted. The financial institutions that handled these transactions were now watching the process. Any bank, anywhere in the world, that process payments under sanctions.
I wish it was always like that at Amazon too.
Potentially losing access to the global banking system. That was a red line.
Easy.
And so Russia's oil trade with India has come to a stop. Transactions frozen, really? To understand why this is such a massive problem for Russia, step back. As of April of 2024, India has a refining capacity of 256.8 million metric tons per annum, making it the fourth largest oil refiner in the world. This was a deliberate strategy. Over this decade, India has been expanding its refining infrastructure, not just to meet domestic energy needs, but to become a major player in the world markets. In 2023, India was the fourth largest exporter of middle distillates and the sixth largest exporter of refined petroleum products, shipping out 45.7 million metric tons. But in this scenario, it meant that Russia and India were connected. Russia, India wasn't just a customer, it was the customer. Indian refineries absorb Russia's heavily discounted crude, refine it, and sell the end products to domestic markets, creating a lucrative loophole to help sustain Moscow's oil revenues. But with these new sanctions, the stakes are much higher. The moment Indian banks started clearing secondary sanctions, the entire scheme collapsed. Payment processing, Russia can't get its money, and without repeat payments, Indian refiners won't risk buying. And then there's China, a country that has been just as aggressive and more so oil since the start of the war. As the world's largest importer of oil, China imports down 1 million barrels per day in 2023, a staggering 10% increase from the previous year. China has also been massively expanding its refining capacity, looking to dominate the export market while keeping the prices low. By 2023, China's crude oil processing averaged 48 million barrels per day, setting an all-time high. In other words, China was fully locked in on crude, turning it into high value. But the latest sanctions have thrown a wrench into that system as well. Unlike India, China hasn't outright stopped buying Russian oil, at least not officially. However, what's happening behind the scenes tells a different story. Many Chinese refineries are delaying shipments, rejecting.
I mean, there is a chance I might not even actually
quietly reducing Russian crude at major ports like Qingdao and Ningbo. Russian oil tankers are now stranded offshore, waiting for clearance while the bureaucratic hurdles.
I'll work there for a good amount of years.
Reroute or remain anchored for weeks. This hesitation is significant because just months ago, China was absorbing Russian oil at record-breaking speeds, competing with India to lock in long-term contracts. Now, suddenly, that was a buying spree. Why? Because Because China, too, is racist. While Beijing doesn't fear U.S. sanctions in the same way as India, it doesn't want its financial institutions, insurers, and shipping firms caught in a Western-led crackdown. If China refiners started processing oil from blacklisted Russian tankers, they risk being entangled in larger sanctions disputes. Right now,
There is a battle.
With you!
Oh my god. Reaching where?
Enjoy the amplifier!
It's clobbering
I was in trouble.
Benji's back, coming through. Get shook.
He stopped them in their tracks. Coming in fast.
Benji's here. Give me all you got. There's a battle.
Crying like his body block. Now you want to run?
I'll patch you up. Can't beat a thick coat of friends, gather around. Only 60 seconds left. Supernova!
Benji's here.
Hey, Dee, enjoy the amplifier. You get away, man. You get away, man. You get away. A little help, please. Nothing's getting through now. Double KO.
You kidding?
Down to 30 seconds.
65% of Trump voters would likely vote for him for a third term. Oh my God.
Down with you.
So yeah, this is a rally for the third term, I guess. That's crazy. They're based off of stuff.
And a friend is here from Argentina, and a friend is here from Poland.
Is it the two guys I think it is? It is actually the two guys. Yeah. Yes, it is.
Thank you very much. Welcome back to the nation's capital, where our movement is thriving, fighting, winning, and dominating Washington like never before. Nobody's ever seen anything like this before.
Did you bring the chainsaw?
We used to have a little smaller crowds here. Is a little bigger. The fraudsters, liars, cheers, globalists, and deep state.
Didn't you mention about the CDL thing?
Sent packing. The illegal alien criminals are being sent home. We're draining the swamp and we're restoring government.
No, I think it's from a video.
Yeah, they're firing fucking everybody.
Washington was controlled by a sinister group.
It's for the little slash.
Warmongers and corrupt special interests who drained our wealth, attacked our liberties.
That's what I told you about the video as well. Fucking crosshairs.
Our country dry, not any longer. But on November 5th, we stood up to all the corrupt forces that were destroying America. We took away their power. We took away their confidence. They lost their confidence, you know? Do you ever watch? They lost their confidence. Oh, it's so nice to watch.
The right heroes could make all the difference.
And we took back our country. And we must be doing something right
Oh, a
because
game
we
I
got
never
the
played.
highest poll numbers
Well, I might as well finish my mission.
that I've ever had and that any Republican president
If I did a
has ever
Trump
had.
speech bingo, the middle square would be poll numbers.
And our approval rating is now the highest ever across all demographics.
Yep.
Rasmussen just came out at 56%.
My eyes are
Inside
wide open
advantage,
now that I'm playing
56,
Punisher.
RMG research,
Wow.
57%.
Nah, Charlie,
Many
I
polls
don't
in
even
the
fucking care.
mid-60s, one at 71%. We like that 71. And according
71%.
to YouGov,
No way.
big deal.
They'll be coming in 30
70%
Really?
of Americans believe that what we are doing is right and we are keeping our promises.
I think people can admit that. Yeah, he definitely
That's
is.
all we're doing when you think is keeping our promises.
How many minutes
That's all
before
we
we start talking about the border?
And
3.
their promises weren't worthwhile.
3
to
minutes.
go and vote for. They loved men playing in women's sports, open borders, little things like that.
3, 2,
But don't tell them.
Boo.
Don't tell them. Keep it quiet. We'll tell them about a week before the next election. Now keep it quiet.
Please say you're gonna run again. Please say you're gonna run
You saw
again.
Maine yesterday, right? The governor of Maine.
Oh. That clip was crazy.
She's fighting to keep men in women's sports. You ever see what happens to a woman when a woman boxes a man who transitioned to woman? Did you ever see what it's not?
It's not, yeah, not good.
It's not pretty. Let her do that fight. Let them all do that fight. Because I think that's about a 90-10 issue, and I can't figure out who the 10% are. Nobody can. So today I want to say thank you to all of
I can't see how people would be in favor of it either.
the incredible patriots in our country. 77 million, and it's actually much more than that because despite that, they cheated like hell. It was just too big to rig. It was too big to rig.
Oh, jeez.
77 million. Remember you used to go and say, look, we're leading in the polls by a lot. Don't believe the polls. Just go and vote. You gotta vote. We're gonna make it too big to rig. And they tried. But it was too big to rig. One of the great statements.
I've heard that before.
Everybody wanted votes. We fought through hell together. But in the end, we achieved the great liberation of America. We're liberating our country right now. We're doing all
It
these
is
things.
kind of crazy. This guy almost went to jail.
We're liberating.
What a
our
sweep.
country. I first spoke to this gathering 14 years ago. And I won your straw poll. I didn't know anything about a straw poll. They took this big straw poll, and I won by like 27 points. And I figured, you know, that's good. Maybe I should keep doing it, and I did. And I became president. Who would think? Who would think?
That's crazy.
But he became president too. He's a MAGA guy too. Make Argentina
Can I get
great
one
again,
piece
right?
of healing?
Oh, man. They love this guy. Bro, did he just do?
I kept hearing about this man in beautiful Argentina, and it is beautiful, but boy, did it happen.
I don't think he did, right?
This is
Is it really clobbering time already?
He pointed?
I should have fucking threw my ear.
great honor to have.
I don't know.
But now it's my honor to address you for the first time as your 47th president of the United
Too close?
States.
I don't think so, right? Maybe, but it was
Great honor.
it's funny to imagine. Yeah, I'll check CNN in 10 minutes. They'll tell you if he did or not.
I want to begin by thanking Matt and Mercedes Schlapp for the incredible
it's
job
still
they
ain't
do,
dead.
and everyone they put together. They put together an amazing team. The American Conservative Union for organizing this event. Along, you have some big players here.
Girlfriend's roast gin. They consider the president a joke.
Eric Schmidt, Jim Banks of Indiana.
I don't live there.
Where's Eric? Where is Eric?
The guy's got interesting facial hair.
Hello, Eric.
And I saw
can see
him
Eric anywhere.
throwing the boards of the government in the garbage. Just the only thing I know about.
Representatives Riley Moore, James Comer, Harriet Hagerman, Byron Donalds, our great Attorney General. She's going to be great. Pam Bondi.
It's kind of crazy that he actually got all of those cabinet picks approved. 100%.
I don't know where she is. So many people. So many people. Secretary Doug Burgum.
He needs to grow a beard.
Bruh, you're right in front of me and you couldn't even heal me.
Secretary Scott Turner.
Maybe that's how he could run a third
ridiculous,
term.
bro.
Ambassador to the
He
United
could grow a beard so people didn't recognize him.
I'm right in front of your face and you didn't
We
even
just gave
bother
a
to
great
heal me.
speech, by the way.
Not in that case. Well, he dropped
A
out.
friend of mine, is this guy Central Casting though? Tom Holman. Is he Central?
Going incognito. Tom O'Brien. Oh god.
Dude's name is The Truth.
He's doing a great job. Thank you, Tom, very much. Thank you. Appreciate it. Arkansas Governor Sarah Sanders. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you. And Pennsylvania Attorney General Dave Sunday.
Bro, where the fuck did I die to?
Closer to the gaming czar.
This bitch was even looking at me, was she?
To be joined by President Duda of
I
Poland.
so
A fantastic man and a great friend of mine. And we got 84% of the Polish people that voted for her, so
Damn.
you must be doing something right, huh? Hanging out with Trump.
Yeah, it seems like the Polish people are
And
very
again,
anti-immigration
President
also.
Milei of Argentina. Thank you very much. Thank you. What a great guy.
We are undefeatable.
And the Prime
They are,
Minister
yeah.
of Slovakia, Robert Fico. Thank you, Robert. Thank you. Nice to see you. The leader of the UK Reform Party, who, by the way, did really well in that next election.
I'm gonna be curious. Doesn't Germany have elections tomorrow? I think they do, right?
Well or not, I always liked him, but
that bitch.
it's easier to like him when he got the kind of votes he got. He really
They do.
He took it
Oh
by
boy.
storm, but they say he's going to do even better this time.
Oh boy.
Nigel Farage. Where is that?
Oh, that guy. I haven't heard about him for a while.
Thank you, Nigel. Thank you. What a great guy. The leader of Spain's Vox Party, Santiago Obiscal.
You gonna check him? Yeah, I'll watch it happen.
Thank you, Santiago. Thank you. Thank you very much. I thought that was you. Thank you very much. Great job you're doing. And a friend of mine, Eduardo Bolsonaro of Brazil, the Chamber of Deputies.
Oh.
Thank you. Thank you. Say hello to your father. Thank you very much. Great family. Great gentleman and a great
I haven't killed that nigga once.
And our
Brazil mentioned?
First
Yeah.
Lady,
Kill him.
Melania, is watching us right now on television. So give her a hand. Give her a hand.
They rigged it against him too, did they? Man. Check Elon's last tweet. Okay.
That's so nice.
Okay.
We love our First Lady, everybody does. With the help of so many incredible supporters here today, we're going to forge a new and lasting political majority that will drive America.
At least sound like this.
I think we're going to do fantastically well in the midterms. In theory, the one that wins the presidency does not do well in the midterms, but I think this is going to change. We're at a level. I don't think we've been at this level maybe ever as the Republicans.
Oh my God.
We're a bigger, better, stronger party than ever before. More people in our party than ever before.
What do you do around
But the
here?
people have given us a resounding mandate for
Oh,
dramatic
man.
change in Washington, and we are going to deliver it. We're going to use it, and we're going to make America great again by using it. So it's going to be something. But think of it, at the presidential level, we won the popular vote by millions and millions of votes. We swept all 7 swing states: Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Georgia, Arizona, Nevada.
Psylocke grip is
All by
crazy.
great margins. We won 85% of all of the
There's another
counties
dude
in
named
America.
Grip
That
Grip.
means that map was red. Did you ever see the map? Did you see the certified map? Where is it? I want to see a certified map.
Oh boy. I'm gonna try and bring it up.
It's all red. You can hardly find the blue. Think of this. They won 525
They're trying to take you down.
counties,
Twitch is bugging out.
and we
Is
won
that true?
2,600 counties.
They're trying to shut me down? Really?
Biggest margin ever recorded. And incredibly, for the first time ever, all 50 states shifted toward the Republican Party. It's never happened.
I promise you,
So
somewhere
it was
under all this
indeed
rock.
too big to ring. We won the largest number of African
Seems fine,
American
yeah.
votes in Republican history by far.
Good.
We won the largest number of Hispanic American votes. Any Republican, Hispanic Americans, we love you. The energy, the brilliance of Hispanic Americans. We won all of the cities
Well, I
and
thought they
towns
were
along
supposed
the
to vote
Texas
for
border.
illegal immigrants. Yeah, fucking duh.
We never used to win any. Got a call from our great governor of Texas.
Securing the mission area.
President, you just won every single town along the Texas border to Mexico. I said, oh, is that good, guy? But that was when I first heard about it, actually. Our party has become the proud voice of hardworking citizens of every race, religion, color, and creed.
Okay, it wasn't just me.
And I think one of the main reasons, not that we're conservative or not that we're anything else, we are the party of common sense. It's about common sense, right? It's all about common sense.
I'm trying to fix it. Why the jump? I don't know.
Last month, we've confirmed the all-star team of warriors, patriots, and missionaries. Put the America First agenda into action. I see Doug Burger sitting right over there.
I'll just fix it like this.
I looked at him. You know, he was a great governor. He's involved.
Is that better, guys?
Energy. He's got area. And Chris Wright has
a little bit loud.
Positive energy.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Chris has no energy, and Doug has all of the energy. Chris has more interior, but he doesn't have. So I merged them. So now you have an energy guy, and you have the guy with all the energy, and you're gonna drill, baby,
right,
drill,
let's
aren't
do it.
you, huh? Drill, baby, drill.
Oh.
And Catherine, stand up. This wife is she is such an incredible woman. Incredible woman. You got very lucky, Doug.
AFC's gonna win
Good to
tomorrow.
be successful, isn't it?
I don't know about that. We'll see what happens.
She's an incredible woman. He's an incredible guy. In addition to the great cabinet secretaries we have here today, we confirm Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth to end the woke insanity and rebuild our military.
Yeah, they got rid of all trans people from the military like 3 days ago.
Thank you.
Like 5 days ago.
Stop the weaponization of federal law enforcement. I know about that, I think, better than any human being on earth. This week we swore in a new director of the FBI, somebody that everybody wanted, Kash Patel.
People love that guy, man. They do. I love how on his speech he just went up and he was like, damn, this is crazy.
Cash is great. He's a popular guy.
Bro, I didn't hit her.
He's like, shit.
He went through with the blessing of a lot of good people, too. I'll tell you, it was great. To end the politicalization of our intelligence agencies, we confirmed Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, who's something very respected, highly respected. And to make America healthy again, we confirm Secretary of Health and Human Services, Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Man. No more fat people. The fat jails begin construction tomorrow.
Great guy. We need him. We need him. You know, there's a number on
Ban
autism.
soda?
Autism. And you go back 15 years.
No.
It was
No.
from 10 to 20,000. You had
No, we don't need to do that.
like 1 in 10 to 20,000. Some say 10, some say 20, but it was in that vicinity. That's a big vicinity. Now it's 1 in 36 babies.
What?
1 in 36. Think it was 1 in probably 20,000 people. Now it's 1 in 36.
No fucking way.
Something's wrong, and Bobby is going to find it. Working with Dr. Oz.
I was on the verge of getting
working with Dr. Oz. Together, we've achieved more in 4 weeks than most administrations achieve in 4 years. We made a lot of progress. I heard O'Reilly last night Say Donald Trump for the first 4 weeks is the greatest president ever in the history of our country. That was O'Reilly. Bill O'Reilly is all right.
You know what this feels like?
You know,
it feels like the
second was
Expendables.
George Washington. I beat George Washington. I love beating George Washington.
What percentage of babies in the
Thank you, Bill.
U.S.?
On our first day in office, we declared a national emergency at our southern border. After years of politicians using our military to defend foreign borders while leaving our country defenseless, helpless, we deployed a group of people, active duty troops, to defend our border and repel the invasion of our country. This was an invasion. You know, we had a great first term, a really great first term. Called it an invasion, and we had great numbers, but now we have the best numbers we've ever had.
Oh, wow.
We've never had numbers like this. We've done it all in 4 weeks. Think of it. That was Tom Homan, Kristi Noem, the whole group. On day one, I ended catch and release. I reinstated remain in Mexico when I signed an order that will end birthright citizenship for the children of illegal aliens.
That's going to go to the Supreme Court because that's in the amendment.
It wasn't meant for these children. It wasn't meant for people that escaped or invaded, came into our country illegally. It was meant for the children of slaves. Because when it was done, many, many years ago,
What the fuck did Spider-Man
it
go?
was during a
1866.
Did he just leave?
1868.
For the children of slaves.
Right after the Civil War.
So they could get this thing approved, and we don't have millions and millions of people coming into our country, and they shouldn't be here.
Guys, we
This
have
week
Biden
I
check.
also canceled temporary protected status for migrants from Haiti. They're pouring into our
Please mention the cats and
pouring
dogs.
in.
Please, 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 you have to do it.
If I weren't elected president, there'd be nobody in Haiti anymore. They were pouring in at levels from other countries too. All over Africa, the Congo, all over South America. And they were coming in from prisons and mental institutions and
Chris,
insane
you supernova
asylums,
just for me,
jails,
bro.
gang members, and you have to see gang members, drug lords, people that are drug addicted. They were sending them all into our ridiculous, very stupid, Biden open border. Our borders are with Kamala. Haven't said that name in a while.
He actually doesn't.
No, I
Yeah.
haven't said that name in a while. Kamala. I'll bet nobody knows her last name. Nobody ever knows her last name. Even during the campaign, you'd have to say Kamala. It's strange, you know, a little different name.
What?
Kamala. Because her last name was Harris.
In 3 days? It's
I
fucking
used to
crazy.
say
Due to 4 days.
Senator Harris. Nobody knew who the hell I was talking about. So I had to go Kamala. But think of
If
it,
he's
I
cool
was
enough.
beating Joe badly. Really badly. And they
He's
changed it.
ripping?
I'm the only
It
one
was
that
like fun
had
to play
beat
with,
two
true.
people. I had
I'll
to
probably
beat
do it.
Jesus Christ.
How to beat two? We beat two. I didn't beat. You beat. You beat two people.
It's a literal 2v1.
He was doing
Yeah.
bad. That's like the great Dana White. He has a fight, and one guy's doing really badly, so when they take him out, they put another guy in the fight. The same guy I had that. Never happened before. A lot of things we do never happened before. You ever notice that? We're the first in everything.
Well, hey, at least we got new material this time,
Who
right?
we ran against? Well, we ran against Biden, and we ran against Kamala Harris. But illegal border crossings now have plummeted by almost 100%. The border czar never called the border. Never called the great people of the border. They have unbelievable. I called them so much they couldn't take my calls. They hated me. But then they became to love me. You know why? Because the border people want to have great borders. But you have to call them on occasion. How are we doing today? Pete, how are we doing? You have to call. And we called the right guys. I became friends. You know, the Border Patrol endorsed me. And these people, you have no idea. They weren't supposed to, because you're not supposed to do that.
They did.
I don't think you're allowed to do it. Actually, they did it anyway. They said, this is
1465.
crazy.
Yeah.
But these are great people, and ICE,
Just
and
1,000
our general
more.
law enforcement, and by the way, our great firemen and firewomen, too.
Not in LA, apparently. They just fired that
They
woman.
were great. They
Yeah.
all endorse us. With the
Apparently
police,
not.
we got high 90s in terms of.
I'm probably gonna buy like a
fucking
fucking Steam,
We have a young lady who's right now going
like a portable
for the
Steam thing like I had
Department of
before.
Labor, and she tends to be a little bit
Forgot what it was
on
called.
the slightly left of center. And everybody said, "Why did I do that?" I said, "You know why I did
Fired
that?
one, killed
Because
another.
Steam
Holy
Deck.
fuck.
unions like her, and labor likes her, and a lot of people like her, and she's very solid, very strong, and she's going to do the right thing." But they all voted for us. They didn't vote for me, they voted for us. We got the Teamsters, we got the firefighters, we got the police, we got the auto workers were so great. We had tremendous support, so I think it's nice to give them a person in the center, because that's what she's going to be very good, I think. But a lot of people said, "Why'd you do that?" I said, "Because I want to do something nice for these people that voted for me." Oh, gee, what a great political move that was.
Oh shit.
What a great political move.
Yeah, I don't even need
It's
to
just-
switch
it's all
to
coming.
fucking Steam Deck and run fucking Marvel Rivals.
I wonder what the teleprompter says.
Sean O'Brien was fantastic. The whole group, they were great. Over the past few weeks, we've begun the largest deportation operation in American history, larger even than that of President Dwight D. Eisenhower. Very
I feel like
moderate
having
man,
Chinese food. It's been a
he
minute
was
since I've
very
seen
strong
Chinese
in
food.
that. He didn't like people running into our country and taking over our country. I'll tell you, I had 4 years. I don't know if you had this. I couldn't stand it. Don't get angry. Donald, don't get angry. I couldn't stand it. Watching these people come in from jails. Don't get angry. Donald, don't get angry. I couldn't stand it.
That was his actual voice.
Watching
Crying.
these people come in from jails, mental
Oh, you get mad now.
and the worst criminals in the street, gang members being dropped off in buses and bussed into our country. I couldn't stand it. So I said, I'm going to run for president.
Is that a pink tie?
And now we don't have that problem. Now we don't have that problem anymore.
It is. It's a pink tie. Magenta. Oh. Yeah, so pink. That's what I thought.
We don't have that problem anymore. We now have the best border we've ever had. And by the way, if they can ever find my world's favorite chart ever in history,
Alright, did I not
I'll
know
show
that?
you what it was when I left. And now it's even slightly
Yeah.
better. Can you drop that chart, you think? I don't know. I never
At this
tell them
rate,
about
I think
this.
actually Adam Warlock
They
is
used to
better
drop it like
because
magic. They can, they'll
I've
drop
been
it.
seeing a lot more Adam Warlocks than
It's like
Cloak and
favorite.
Dagger.
Last time they dropped that, you
My
almost got
favorite
shot.
chart in history.
I think more
I don't know
people
about
are
that.
picking him up
We're
now.
liberating communities like Aurora, Colorado, and Springfield, Ohio,
Especially
They
now
lost
that
the
they
chart.
nerfed
that have been
fucking
occupied by illegal
defensive
alien
bolts.
criminals from all over the world.
offensive ones are
We're rescuing the Americans.
taking the
Whose
lead.
jobs have been stolen, whose wages have been robbed,
No, that's
whose
true.
way of life has been absolutely destroyed. And under the Trump administration, our country will not be turned into a dumping ground. We're not going to do it. We're going to have a great country again. It's going to happen soon. A lot sooner than you think. And we're going to have so much money coming in from tariffs. Oh. You're going to say, your senators and your congressmen are going to say, please, sir, please. You're making us look so bad. We have so much money coming in. I didn't know this was going to happen. Please don't do this to us. We look very bad. But they're great. They're doing well. I tell you, the Republican senators they're sticking together. The Republican congressmen and women are sticking together.
Man.
Every once in a while, you have one that wants a little action or something. I don't know what it is. It's so sad to see. I just hate to see it. I hate to see it.
Is he about to start talking shit?
Sticking together. One thing about the Democrats, they have rotten, horrible policy. The worst policy in history. They stick together. We have great policy, but sometimes they don't stick, but they've been sticking for us. They've been sticking. And I think the speaker and the leader have done a fantastic
Inner monologue gone rogue.
That's Thune
Yeah.
and Johnson. And I think they've done two guys really working hard at doing it. They're really doing a great job. But we have a lot to stick with. We have a lot to stick together for because what we've done has never been done before. Nobody's ever seen anything like this, and nobody's ever seen 4 weeks like we've had. Especially the 4 weeks, the first.
It's been a lot of
4
content.
Weeks. You know,
He's
that's
right.
like
Yeah.
if you golf, when you sink that
Oh,
first
God.
4-footer in the first hole, It gives you confidence on the next hole. You sink another one. Now you go into that third hole and you can't. And by the time you get to
I mean,
the
they
fifth
did
hole,
nerf her
you feel
defensive
you
wall
can't miss,
too.
right? Like a baseball player, he gets up and he hits the first one, and then the second at bat, he hits that one. And you know, you get. And we have great confidence, and they've lost their confidence, as I said. They really lost their confidence.
He just stopped it.
Them. They're really screwed up. I watched this MSNBC, which is
here
a
we
threat
go.
to democracy, actually.
He used it.
Star, right? Oh, that is so cool.
감사합니다. When this is over, maybe you could add me to your playlist.
Well, I'm really more of a classic rock kind of guy, you know. But hey, you know, you don't have a podcast, do you?
Now look, I'm not saying that I'm on Gordon Ramsay's level of cooking. I'm pretty sure if Remy and I got to a cook-off, he would wipe the floor with me like a Swiffer wet jet. But however, I'm very capable of holding my own weight in the kitchen. I'm definitely out cooking Chef Hatchet in that flame neck of his, especially with that sludge that he was trying to take the contestants with. But back when I was around the age of EDP's dating range, I was eating things that only a struggling college student would consume. But even to this day, I still partake in these primitive cuisines, something that society has deemed as struggle. And though I've never stooped to the levels of Colgate bars, I've had my fair share of struggle. So tonight, we'll be discussing the different types of struggle meals that the average human is likely to endure. Comment down below your favorite struggle meal and like subscribe. First, we gotta talk about the amount of things that you make in a local bread. Have you ever been in the car with someone and asked them like, when they tell you we got McDonald's at home, so you're geeked out of your mind. You think you're gonna get to the crib and have all types of McNuggets and shit on the table. But you look in the kitchen, you realize you've been filled with bamboozled and confused. So now you gotta find whatever scraps that you can and put some random shit together. Now, if you're a struggle meal kind of shooter, you don't even know how versatile this is. Real firepower! The culinary equivalent to a Swiss Army knife, bro. It can be used in any situation. First, we got the glizzy sandwich, aka hood dogs. If I had $1 for every time I ate one of these, I would actually be able to buy some fucking hot dog buns. The only time you could find hot dog buns in my house was during the 4th of July Memorial Day. They dead ass were more scarce than soap and Keemstar's bathroom. But these were like a delicacy in my crib, bro. All you gotta do is boil some hot dogs and throw that shit between a single slice of bread and you good to go. I never understood the niggas who root their hot dogs in the microwave like Benson's wings. And I swear, it would always be the butt of the bread that would be more stiff than the Discord mod socks. And then I would spend the next 20 minutes trying to get any amount of ketchup out the bottle that I can. But overall, hood dogs were a certified hood classic, and it's one of the definite faces of struggle meals. There was also the hood pizza. Now look, I know people are making these pizza toasts for their kids and whatnot, but back then it was a way of survival.
yeah.
I think we've all been there at least once.
True.
There wasn't no Pizza Hut, no Domino's, no Papa John's, just a Texas sauce.
Still true this day.
Sometimes there wasn't even any sauce, and that shit would be dry to gamey shoeless jokes. And if you were using crab cheese slices, then you was in deeper trenches than the army soldier. But everybody knows that the poverty pizzas are elite, bro. When you don't have any food, you start to hella creative, bro. It's like another part of the mind you just tapped into, like Einstein or something. And you're lying if you said you never used pasta sauce instead of actual marinara. There's just something so satisfactory about these penny-pinching pizzas. It's not delivery, it's depressing. But the next meal I'm about to construe could possibly make hood meals look like fucking Bobby Flay. We got the legendary syrup sandwich. You ever just grab 2 slices of bread and pour some Aunt Jemima's in between?
I actually remember that. Holy
This
shit.
that shit Kendrick Lamar was rapping about at Humble. And I ain't talking about no fresh toast with the cinnamon all the fixings like this is Denny's or something. I mean bread, syrup, bread. I think out of all the struggle meals in this video, this is my go-to. Like this sandwich is very vital. It's trying to get that shit hastily put the bread.
Holy shit, that was fucking nasty.
And now you just got some salty ass bread. But if you wanted to, you could start dressing up your sandwich like you're going out on the grill. Guys keep on the original and plain like a white tea. I remember eating one of these every day for breakfast for like a week straight, and I don't regret a damn thing. And then there's the timeless classics like the grilled cheese, the instantaneous hit. But I was never the type to eat tomato soup because that shit tasted like cowboy ketchup, bro. But when I was making them, they would always come off the skillet with like a piece of fucking ass. But regardless, this toasted bundle of cheese got me through a lot. Especially when they had a slice of some processed ass lunch meat in it. That takes it to the next level like Super Mario or something. And if you were using string cheese instead of sliced cheese,
I am ready to run a show.
and I know there's a bunch of you enthusiasts who have the best off your sandwich. Dog good! Time to mention the peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I'll be my favorite struggle. Dog good! The same container swirled. Dog good! It doesn't matter what type of peanut butter and jelly.
Why would you born again me there, bro?
Jam, they need to be extra with extreme prejudice. Also, shout out to Unfrustable.
How the fuck did I teach?
The epitome of struggle. These salty ass noodles used to have my head ringing like a turkey now, but the flavor was ethereal. Probably the cheapest thing is in a restaurant you know that chicken clears every other flavor. I'm pretty sure everybody's got a fat ass box of these noodles in their cabinet taking up more space than fat out. But the beautiful thing about ramen is that you can customize your bowl more than your My Player on 2K. You can add cheese, eggs, sriracha, chocolate. I was devouring that shit like Naruto Uzumaki, bro. And don't be I forgot about some niggas who eat an entire bread whole like it's a fucking apple or something. But in all seriousness, ramen was an elite meal and would keep me plentiful for hours on end. I personally don't partake in the cup noodles though. Just don't let me catch any of y'all niggas eating ramen sandwiches and we'll be all good. But I already know y'all be adding hot Cheetos to your ramen. But at that point, I'd rather starve than have my interior organs start breakdancing. Now we gotta talk about cereal. I'm pretty sure we've all eaten a bowl of cereal for dinner or when there's nothing else to eat. It doesn't get any easier than this. This is like the original struggle meal. This is deadass like the Rafiki of struggle meals. It doesn't matter if there's milk or not. There's been plenty of times where I put Cinnamon Toast Crunch in a Tupperware bowl and called it a night. I swear, cereal tastes way better at night. Like the flavor molecules just get taken to the third power like algebra. Cereal is one of the only meals in this list that you can eat at any point during the day. And I've never been the type to use water, but whatever floats your boat, which I guess would be water. But if you're eating cereal with water, I hope you swallow your spoon. Reevaluate your life, bro. The only thing about cereal is that I fuck around and eat damn near the entire box without even noticing, bro. But cereal is definitely in the upper echelon of the struggle meal pyramid. Now we gotta talk about frozen food. Man. I would be lying to you if I told you I wasn't eating those dinosaur nuggets like Power Pellets and Pac-Man. I was deadass throwing the entire box in the oven and having a feast like Shaggy. Those Tyson chicken strips were also more clutch than De'Aaron Fox. Also, shout out to Totino's for blessing humanity with these oleaginous bundles of joy. Back then I wasn't cooking, but I was a fiend on the air fryer. I was straight going down in the kitchen with that. I was using that motherfucker more than Gen Z uses TikTok. I was deadass programming that motherfucker like I was Dr. Doofenshmirtz. Then there were Hot Pockets, but no matter what type of conditions I put these motherfuckers through, the center was always colder than Mr. Freeze's ray gun. But anyway, like I said earlier, I was in my fucking bag when it came to this shit. Fries, mozzarella sticks, you name it. Also, can't forget about the banquet meals, bro. I'm pretty sure that shit was made from dolphin ankles and giraffe knees, but it was a hit every time, bro. Now we gotta talk about rice and beans.
I've never had
This was like the worst case scenario. I think this is the last meal that I would go for, but I'm still inhaling this shit because I'm hungry as hell. But I ain't gonna lie, if you use the right condiments and seasonings, you can revive this insipid dish. It would get elevated even more if you could find some chicken in the fridge and turn it into a fake ass Chipotle bowl. But as I've gotten older, I've come to embrace this meal, especially after a workout. Now we gotta talk about canned food. Man, I used to be downing these like it was the apocalypse or something, bro. First, let's start off with Franks and Beans, or as I like to call them, beanies and weenies. Now, since I don't eat pork, I would just crack open a can of Bush's vegetarian baked beans and cut up a hot dog. But if I'm being 100% honest with you, this is probably the best meal on this list. I feel like even if you got a cabinet full of food with endless possibilities and options, everybody should try this, bro. There was nothing like eating a warm bowl of this eminent stew. And then there were SpaghettiOs. Now, this take might be hotter than a Texas sidewalk, but I personally think these need to be banned. Like, anybody with functioning taste buds would know SpaghettiOs taste like active hemorrhoids. And you know that if you live in a black household, you eat spaghetti more than the fucking Lady and the Tramp. There would always be a big ass vat of it, and it would always last longer than J. Cole's song. Canned vegetables were also hit and added more to my excruciatingly sorrowful plate. Now we gotta talk about sleep and water. Well. The most slept on struggle meal on this list. No pun intended. There ain't nothing like sleep with the side of water. If you haven't had any of these meals that I've listed off so far, then I know you've had this. At least you don't gotta question whether or not you have any of this or not. The amount of times I try to sleep off my hunger is prodigious. I be in my bed looking like I got hit with a fucking tranquilizer dart, bro. But this is an S-tier struggle meal plate. That water tastes like all types of gourmet goodies and treats when you're hungry, especially when it's cold. Also, shout out to Minute Maid, bro. Every time there would be some in the crib, I would suddenly start cosplaying as Badway and Chubbs. Y'all already know the moment this shit appears in the fridge, it disappears like a fucking Houdini magic trick. It's every man for themselves when it comes to Minute Maid, because this shit was like liquid crack. I was drinking this shit like Future drinks lean. But I guess gonna wrap everything up for this video, man. Comment down below your favorite struggle meal, as well as other ideas that you want to see from me in the future. You know what I'm saying? Join the family, like, subscribe if you're new. We going crazy. 2023 takeover is in full effect. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? More consistent content, more bangers gonna keep dropping, bro. We taking this thing to the top. The sky's the limit, and we gonna go crazy. All y'all love this hell at all times. You know what I'm saying? Even when I'm not uploading, bro, just know I got something in the works. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be heat. So thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for rocking with me. I hope you feel finds in good spirits. I'm G Guy. I'm out. I love y'all. Peace.
I just waste some health again.
That's 3. Ready to keep on rocking.
You need to stop that vehicle in its tracks. All eyes over here. Shields up!
Problem solved!
Nothing here. Suspicious.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. If you didn't see the news this morning, Superman now facing his worst villain yet in the DCU, a giant lawsuit. There's a new report saying that the Superman estate is suing the new James Gunn Superman movie, and it's a very big deal. Superman basically trying to sue the Superman movie. It's not like that Ryan Reynolds, Blake Lively slap fight of a lawsuit that's going on right now. This new Superman movie lawsuit, way more serious, and they have a much stronger case. So there's a much better chance that Warner Brothers and James Gunn are in hot water. Totally sounds like some evil Lex Luthor plan, finding a problem Superman can't punch his way out of. The follow-up questions everyone has: what does this mean, and why is Superman or the Superman estate able to sue the new Superman movie? What fresh chaos is this? It's still January when I'm posting this video. The reason why this is more serious than, say, like the Ryan Reynolds, Blake Lively situation is because it's not a simple he said, she said situation where it's open to a lot of interpretation from both sides. It's not like the Superman estate is suing over hurt feelings and text messages or anything like that. Their case has way more basis in actual contracts with very specific language, which is why their case is so much better, why they have a much better shot at actually winning in court, which is a big deal. So we'll break it all down and what this means for the actual movie this year, because it's still scheduled to come out in July. If you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the videos. As chaotic as this sounds, it's not the end of the world. It's actually a really weird situation, and it happens all the time in Hollywood. That's right, this is just par for the course in Hollywood. Anytime a giant movie comes out, there's always a lawsuit. Marvel has giant lawsuits over on their side of things all the time. A really good example of that, Scarlett Johansson had that very public lawsuit with them over the Black Widow movie. So this is just a normal thing for big movie companies in general, not just comic book movie companies, not just DC, because the same people that are suing them now sued them a couple years ago during the Henry Cavill era of Superman 2 over that version of Superman. But the first big question I know everybody is asking, is this going to affect the new Superman movie from coming out in theaters in July like they're planning on releasing right now? And the easy answer to that is no. You will still be able to see this new Superman movie wherever you live in the world. They're still going to release it, no matter what. The people who are actually suing the movie and Warner Brothers primarily want them to release the movie even, like, please release this movie, because, and this is a really important read between the lines kind of moment here, the more money that the Superman movie makes this year all over the world and next year, it increases the amount of money that the Superman estate, who's doing the suing, can earn from the lawsuit or the settlement if Warner Brothers tries to quash it before it goes to trial, which they probably will. So everybody on both sides of this Superman lawsuit, the Superman estate who's suing them, Warner Brothers, James Gunn, DC, all of them want the Superman movie to make as much money as possible around the world, but for very different reasons. Like James Gunn is using the Superman movie this year to legitimize his reboot of the DCEU into the DCU, and his whole slate of planned movies and TV shows they're making is part of DC Chapter 1 Gods and Monsters. You remember that big video he released? All those projects he announced. There have been several more movies and TV shows that they've also announced since he released that video. So there's this giant slate that they're trying to do. James Gunn said it himself, if this first big Superman movie does not work out, their plans for the future of DC movies will just have to change significantly, and this reboot might be over just as it's starting. So there's a lot on the line this year. The Superman movie has to do well. If you didn't see the news this morning, what just happened is the Superman estate, which they're calling the estate of Joe Shuster, one of the creators of Superman, sued Warner Brothers over the Superman movie specifically. This isn't the first time that the estates of Siegel and Schuster have sued Warner Brothers over Superman and Superboy because those are the characters that they created originally. DC and Marvel, like I said, get sued all the time by comic book creators. Marvel got sued a number of years ago, not just for the movies like the Scarlett Johansson Black Widow thing, but comic book creators sued Marvel for comic book character rights. Siegel and Schuster have sued DC numerous times over the years, and then Warner Brothers when they were about to release the Christopher Reeve Superman movie back in the 1970s when they were both still alive. Then after they died, their heirs took over their estates. They took over the duties of suing DC, Warner Brothers over the Superman Superboy rights. But it's not because they don't want Warner Brothers or DC to release Superman movies at all, like they want that very much, because remember James Gunn actually filmed part of the new Superman movie in Cleveland where they lived, where they literally created the Superman character, which is why Cleveland is called the birthplace of Superman. Siegel and Schuster's grandsons even had a special cameo in the movie. They visited James Gunn and gave him this special comic book too to honor the occasion. So it's not like these guys are suing James Gunn over the Superman movie or anything like that. We're talking about like a high-level estate with like their families in those estates suing over specific rights in certain places around the world. A really good comp to make is the Lord of the Rings and the Tolkien estate. The Tolkien estate itself is very litigious for all the books, the rights, for all the different Lord of the Rings, J.R.R. Tolkien creations, for all the different things that he did. Their family is enormous now, so you have like younger generations who are like really cool with them doing specific things with the movies and the TV shows, and older members of the family who are also part of the estate on a legal basis might not be cool with that. So that's how you have situations where you have like Siegel and Schuster's grandsons being super jazzed up to be in this new Superman movie, but then the family's estate turns around and sues Warner Brothers over the movie for a ton of money. Like I said, the last big time that they sued over Superman and Superboy was back during the Henry Cavill Superman era, right before Zack Snyder released the Man of Steel movie and started his whole run of that Justice League era with all those different actors. So a lot of you probably figured this out. Part of the idea is that the Superman estate, which they're calling Siegel and Schuster's estate, typically focus most of their lawsuits, their efforts, contract negotiations or renegotiations around the time when Warner Brothers is about to release new Superman movies because there's so much money on the line, like hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars, potentially billions of dollars in profits if you look at home video releases and merchandise, all that stuff. What happened during the last big lawsuit, and this was around 2013 when this was all settled, around the time they were releasing the Man of Steel movie with Henry Cavill, is the courts sided with DC and Warner Brothers because of an earlier lawsuit that happened during the Christopher Reeve Superman era when he was making those movies. Now in present day, what's happened is that Joe Shuster's estate, just one part of that estate, is suing DC and Warner Brothers again over the new James Gunn Superman movie specifically, claiming that Warner Brothers doesn't have the rights to release the movie in some key foreign countries outside the United States, is what they mean. And even though it doesn't represent the entire world, it's enough of a chunk of the worldwide box office that it's a very large amount of money. The reason why this is more serious, why their case is way stronger than, say, the whole Ryan Reynolds, Blake Lively thing, just for comparison, is that the Schuster estate is claiming that their specific contracts, Schuster and Siegel's contracts with DC and Warner Brothers, state the rights to release any new Superman movies in foreign countries reverted back to the estate after a certain period of time, and we are past that amount of time now. Which is one of the reasons why they waited until right now to sue them, because they said that this specific matter was not litigated the last time they had their big lawsuit during the Henry Cavill Superman era. Also, the second reason why they waited until right before this new Superman movie came out to sue, like I said, they hope that the movie comes out, makes a ton of money in these places where they claim that they have the rights, making it easier for them to sue for even more money or get more money out of the settlement. So it always comes back to money. It's all about money. That's just kind of the way it goes in Hollywood. They're planning on the idea that Warner Brothers might want to settle the lawsuit before it goes to court so that it doesn't overshadow the release of the movie later this year or hurt the hype at all, which I don't think that it will. Most regular people who aren't like really tuned in...
I guess so, yeah. Damn, we're already 18 hours? Fuck. And I only got one to go other. Oh, 1 hour. Oh, fucking weak. Already 133 matches. Yeah, yo. That was wild. $1,500. Okay. Oh, it's at 1,100. I thought it was like 1,200. Alright. We're back. Damn, it's only about to be 8 o'clock. Jeez. Yeah, I'm definitely getting this shit by tonight.
I promise you,
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
Is a heart of gold. You promise me you'll take it easy out there, Susie.
Benjamin J. Grimm, you should know by now that I'm far from helpless.
Oh, I ain't worried about you. I meant you should take it easy on them.
Well, in that case, we'll just have
The
to
battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I'm just gonna listen to this.
All you need to do is capture the mission area. Got it?
Past or future, as long as folks are living on their knees, I'll keep standing.
Let's rumble! Got your back.
hold still. Nothing's getting through now.
How the fuck does she already have her points? That's crazy.
Is it really clobbering time already, Ben?
I'm trying to help. There we go. The mission area is yours.
3 cheers for us. By the eye of Agamotto!
I fucked myself up. I fucked myself over that one. Oh, we were still in the middle of the game. Oh yeah, I joined it. I forgot. That's what she had her own.
Now I see them.
Supernova! That was a mighty wave of firepower! Nobody can hurt us now.
It's clobbering time! Do your worst. Here's a feather.
You captured more than half of the mission area. Keep going.
This is real fire!
One more. The area's almost yours.
Got your back.
No portal. He still gets the portal? Oh my god. That's fucking ass. I should fucking ulted. I thought I could stop him from portal. I popped my ult, but I didn't fucking knock him out. That's ridiculous.
Your team's capture progress has passed the halfway
By the eye of Agamotto!
I was about to start dashing. I can just save me.
Lights out.
They've almost got it!
This'll make you easy.
She's hitting mine there. I was taking that damage for her so she can heal.
Well, you can't expect to win them all. Pick your hero. Or villain. I'm not judging.
Who needs four when you got one like me? No, life was easier before all this galactic gobbledygook. Does this make me an agent of shield?
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
Outside another human torch back there in the I guess I'm about to find out if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Four, three, two, one. All you need to do is capture the mission area. Got it?
Does this make me an agent of shield?
The mission area is yours to capture now.
There's mad people low.
Against the world.
Hey, we didn't need to steal my kill. Look at that.
Yeah, but you actually did it, Flame Brain. I'm impressed.
Probably, yeah. Most likely I will. What day is it today? It's Sunday, yeah. The reason why I was even able to get to fucking GM was because I used comms. Bruh, she's like fucking one shot for like 5 seconds.
Us against the world. Your team's capture progress has passed the halfway point.
Again, fucking perma healed. Nope, I ain't going nowhere, Spidey.
They've almost got it.
Sacrifice won't be in vain, John. Unexpected.
Control C. You captured more than half of the mission area. Keep going.
Found one.
I've spotted one behind me. I'm just dying.
Holy crap. Shield saved me.
Us against the world.
Celestial?
You'll have to keep fighting until
That's like top 500, bro. The problem is, for me, is I don't think I really have a main. Like, I'm not a main in anything. Like, I don't have like a distinguished like role that I play. I mean, I guess I could be a tank man.
I'm actually the strongest one.
I'm not that terrible at DPSing either.
Don't tell Hulk.
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
Rocket, I'm counting on you on the battlefield.
What? You don't got a rep comfort zone like everyone else?
I don't. Right. You do have one hell of a tactical brain.
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All you need to do is capture the mission area. Got it?
Got a Lord Fantastic.
Thanks. I can still take it. I require some aid.
She thought she was gonna land on the floor. This dude's been completely ignoring me this entire time. That's so funny. Died for that? I've been chasing him for that long.
Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man!
Bang! Damn, that was a clean ass. Oh my god. That's definitely my MVP right there.
Enemy combat. This should keep me going.
Fuck did he go? He dipped.
By the eye of Agamotto!
Fucking booty clip me. All that disappeared, no one kept him. And nothing.
Control lost.
By the eye of Agamotto!
Yep, I am Mamako.
I unleash the Vishanti's power! That's how we do it! Benji's back, baby! My soul. Steals my body and fires my blood.
I have created over 1,000 gods, unknown to death, nor known to life. Have withstood pain to create worlds. Yep, nice disappear. Oh my god, that dude is still after me. Oh, Craig.
There's a reason I'm at his favorite nephew.
seconds before you attack. Get ready.
Hey, Rocket! Well, you got your ship. If you do, let's get out of here. But we're supposed to save the world? Fine. Save the world.
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All you need to do is capture the mission area. Got it?
Oh boy. Here they come. You're welcome.
Must be far from it.
Looks like the mission area is yours to capture now.
Shoot. Go on, try it.
The mission area is yours.
Not too sexy.
Against the world.
These guys are about to shoot at us.
Disappear.
Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man!
Oh my god, I got clapped.
Control lost.
You can clap your best and they were.
I've reached my full potential.
Let's rumble!
I've reached the speed of Nick.
It is a feather. It's clobbering time! It's clobbering time!
Where the fuck did he go? You're not getting out of here.
You captured more than half of the mission area. Keep going.
I'll patch you up.
Feeling better already.
I'm just dying. Right behind you.
I don't believe in you, OG.
Against the world.
It's clobbering time!
Let's keep fighting until we have a winner.
Rise, my friend! Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man!
See, my mode was kinda lounge. Didn't know which way to turn. So it was cool, but I took a chances. OG up, you can feel my surge.
Never mind.
Everything that I do is electric. I'ma keep it in motion, keep it moving like kinetic. Put this shit in a frame, better know I don't blame everything that
Another epic.
Come on, give me MVP. That shit was fire. Yep. That shit was clean as hell.
It's clobbering time!
Bong. 2 quads this game? That's fucking wild. Fantastic, ain't that fantastic? Double quad. It was just a triple. I'll just use these fucking things. Damn, 1600 already. It's like 800. Where'd it go?
The right heroes could make all the difference.
Who needs 4 when you've got one like me?
I have a Wolverine now. Okay.
We'll be coming in 30 seconds. Stay strong.
Benji's here! Can't hurt me now. Confusion. I mean, are you even the same Logan I know?
Depends. Does that Logan owe you $200?
Yeah, he sure does. With interest.
Then I must be one for an alter.
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You have to stop them from securing the mission area.
Here come our next victims.
There's a coming at you.
3 tanks. It's like he knew they were gonna pick it. It's like Wolverine knew. And one of them is left.
I feel fantastic. Coming through. Let's roll. Benji's here.
You need to stop that vehicle in its tracks. They can't monitor what they can't see.
There's a
They are in front. Not even in the distance. Who's behind you?
Stop that vehicle!
Holy shit, I'm gonna decimate him with fucking 3 times. Oh my god.
Maximum pulse! Magneto!
He actually killed someone with that shit.
Behold the god of thunder!
This is Wolverine, dude. I was struggling that hard just to kill the thing. Damn, neither Thor or the thing got a single death. That is crazy. He stopped playing Wolverine.
Nothing's getting through now.
She didn't kill anybody. Seriously? That's how hard you're trying to protect your tanks?
Maximum pulse! Maximum pulse!
Again? God, that, oh god. Let's go. No, we had a Wolverine, not them. Could have Wolverine his ass off. I know you'd be gold scarring over this. A Wolverine couldn't deal any damage to the other. He only could have killed a Magneto once and that was it. I mean, all we need is to take out their fucking healers. They can't do shit. Yeah.
Your powers are mine!
Unfortunately, we have 3 healers that aren't doing anything. Our 1 DPS is ass. 3 and 6.
You'll need a top-notch team to win this one.
Who needs four when you got one like me?
I'm a little bit of a fantastic guy myself.
Okay, dude, I do not want to hear it. Ugh.
The thing.
Shut up. I do not want to hear it.
30 seconds before you attack.
Like nothing, bro. I am currently not in the mood for that.
Actually posted it on social media right after and tagged like everyone. Remember? And Silver Surfer doesn't have a headphones, by the way.
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All you need to do is capture the mission area. Got it?
Just as expected.
Oh, he almost sniped that.
Nobody can hurt us now.
Let's do it! Yeah, she got He's still alive, man. I'm realizing why we would die and listen to it.
Thanks to the vehicle to its destination.
I want to try out that pop-up with Spider-Man.
Tippy Joe says we're ready to roll.
How the fuck did you fall? How the fuck did you fall like that, bro? I even ulted, bro. How the fuck you fail? Man down.
Just embrace the light.
Supernova! This is real firepower!
He's still flanking? I'm crying. He canceled. Oh, the fucking Scarlet Witch. Can't do nothing about it.
Between read between some subtle things, the holes in my apologies. You know, I'm trying hard to get higher than the Empire State. Can we get much higher?
Pick your hero. Or room. I'm not judging.
Can we get much higher? Higher than the Empire State.
Higher, baby. Get higher, baby. Get higher, baby. And don't ever come back.
No, I know that I'm not all that you got. Like I said, I just maybe.
You saw the title, so there's no need to explain anything here. This is the Lower East Side H Mart, and it got basically every single brand they carry. Honestly, I expected it to be worse, but gotta be grateful that it's under 100. We're gonna pack them up and go meet with PA.
So here are the standardized, more famous brands that we're gonna test out first, and then we'll move on to the fairly new brands, deluxe, fancy ramen, and then those are the really weird ones that we're gonna try at the end.
Oh, we're already struggling in the first place. Why are there so many ads, bro? There's 6 ads on this thing. What do you have an ad blocker?
I don't know what that is. Presentation mode?
What the hell is Jake, bro? It's so complicated, man.
Bro, that's just right. It works. Look.
Oh, yeah?
This is the best ramen out there, and it's the cheapest. It's been sitting.
I think it's been so cool.
It has sweetness, a little bit spicy.
Like, I like how they give you those 3 sauces and just mix. I don't like those water ones. You know, I like the dry ones.
Speaking of water ones, more well-known Korean beef bone. This one is like everybody's favorite, I think, in Korean communities. I mean, I like it.
It's kind of bland.
After the Indomie, man, everything's good.
I think we started off too strong.
Yeah.
Now everything's downhill. I gotta give it like a C.
I'm leaning towards B, but it's more like a B minus. So
For what?
I agree with C.
First of all, I don't like when they put pieces of meat on top, and then obviously you have a piece of meat. I know it's my own thing, the advertisement. But not even that. You don't even get like scallions or something.
Those are fresh ingredients, man.
I'm saying.
Someone worth clobbering.
I'm a believer that breakfast is one of the greatest meals of all time. And that's why today I'm on a mission to find the best breakfast in the world. Viewers from all over the globe submitted their favorite breakfasts from their representative countries, and thousands of votes later, the results are in, and we're left with a top 12 that come together week to date in one insane battle. The top 4 most popular dishes will have earned a bye, while the remaining 8 will compete for their chance to move on to the tournament. The world's most beloved breakfast is in battle, and we will find our champion. Starting with our first matchup, Ireland versus the Philippines. Philippines with long silog, garlic fried rice, topped beautifully with a generous amount of fried garlic, longanisa, fried egg. Our favorite Filipino chef Christian said to serve sliced tomatoes, seasoned with fish sauce, and the commenters in our Filipino versus American breakfast called for achara, pickled papaya, and separately a dipping sauce made with cane vinegar
I
and
remember
sweet.
this.
You know, got the richness of all that. Garlicky fried rice.
That was pretty good.
Next up, Ireland. With the full Irish breakfast. We've been asking for this for a long time. It's very simple. Black and white pudding, bangers, rashers, baked beans, fried eggs, fried tomato, boxed tea, and mushrooms. And we even got soda bread served on the side with marmalade and butter. We ain't f***ing around, brother. Our guest taste tester today is David Douglas. He is an Austin legend known for trying all of the greatest restaurants and telling people all about it on Instagram. And of course, Quince Nickworm, director and season channel director. 2 unlikely competitors, the Philippines versus Ireland. Honestly, these are really strong contenders. I don't even know where to begin.
I want to get Philippines. I can't even say anything. I want to just keep eating. That rice is incredible. Longanisa is incredible. It's just a great combination. I'm blessed.
That makes two then. Right. Unbelievably garlicky, but not overwhelmingly so. It's almost more of a fragrance than it is like some sort of blast into your face. Longanise is fantastic. It's sweet, it's salty, it's umami. Fried egg only makes a beautiful sauce with crispness. All the accoutrement, it's wonderful.
There's so many different flavors and textures, and they all go so well together. And individually, each bite is incredible. No matter which component you taste, there's nothing to not enjoy. It's great.
When Flavortown was founded, this is what they had in mind. They wanted that garlic, they wanted the sausage, they wanted these town members coming together to form a sort of a town. Maybe a town of flavor, you could call it.
Okay, I wrote in. I don't even know where to begin with this.
I know where I'm. Soda me bread. It's fun. For me, this one has the variety going for it. It's kind of a playground for you to dip, dive, dunk.
I can't stop eating. I keep eating something, then I go back to something else. It's all great flavors, all combined into one amazing plate that I thought would be a bit too much. I thought there's too many different components, but all of them work really well together. Even the Filipino one, same thing. It's hard.
I'm hard. Yeah, this is really, it's voting time. 1, 2, 3.
Unanimous.
Wow. Ireland, I'm really sorry. It's so tasty.
The unanimous vote, it doesn't represent how close these were for me, but I think we all put the slight edge to the Philippines.
Moving on. The Philippines moves on powerfully to the next round to face Mexico. But first we head to our next round 1 matchup, France versus Colombia. Colombia with arepa con huevos. I've never had this before, and I gotta say, these are 2 things that I love, so I have a feeling this is a strong contender. 2 pan of sauteed tomato and green onion, add eggs, season taste with salt, and stir until soft scrambled. Serve with a hand-formed fried white corn arepa. Crispy on the outside, but tender, chewy, almost voluptuous on the inside. And enjoy. France with the croissant. I mean, we know what this is, right? Butter and dough, rolled into multiple layers, and once cut and baked, crispy, airy pastries that make me want to take my socks off and wiggle my little piggies. I think we should start with France because it's the simplest. You can dip them into a cappuccino if you want, or eat them by themselves. This is a good croissant.
The butter is buttering.
Nice, crispy, airy, all the qualities of a good croissant. And I think a good breakfast as well.
So crispy.
Part of me does want to Americanize the croissant and stuff it with other things.
The French would be appalled. Well, actually, the French are finally evolving a little bit, you know? It took them a while, but they're on their way.
God bless them. Every laugh I get out of Josh, he pays me another 5 nickels. I've got a whole $1 now.
Let's move on to the Colombian dish. I like this. If you are not from Colombia, but you're used to like maybe an egg and or bacon-centric breakfast, it feels new. You're so used to maybe like toast or hash browns with your eggs. This is a great change of pace if you've never had this before. I love this. I also love that the eggs are deeply flavorful and they've got some vegetative quality to them. It's nice.
The eggs are great. Everything that's combined into the eggs really elevates it past the very basic scrambled eggs.
The egg and the pepper mixture, it's really working for me in ways that other dishes haven't so far.
It's voting time. 1, 2, 3.
What? The eggs are great, but you know, it's just eggs. When you're on the streets of France, you're walking down and it's like 5 in the morning and you smell those buttery croissants, that hits like nothing else. That's why it just takes a slight edge.
I have a retort. Just eggs is ignoring the tomatoes, the peppers, the spices, and the soul that went into this delicious Colombian meal. And that's why, frankly, I disagree with you.
I'm in between the 2 opinions here. The croissant is so unique to France, and there's nothing else like it. So I almost wanted to vote for this, but just personally, I enjoyed this one more. That means Colombia moves on to the next round. On to our next matchup, Vietnam versus Turkey. Vietnam coming with pho. Vietnam recently did very well in our other video, where we were looking for which country has the best sandwich. Now look, although pho is popular in the United States, it's much lesser known as a breakfast item. We're told by a few Vietnamese chef friends that in Vietnam it's a way of life. Thinly sliced raw beef on top of their cooked rice noodles, pour over boiling hot broth with beef, garnished with Thai basil, sliced onion, green onion, a little bit of chili, cilantro, braised sliced beef, and finally bean sprouts. Serve and enjoy. Turkey coming in with menemen. We followed this recipe exactly on the YouTube channel Turkish Food Travel. Thank you for that. You start by sauteing peppers in butter and olive oil, followed with chopped tomato. Season with salt to break that down. Cook it down, roughly crushed with some potato masher. Then gently stir in some scrambled eggs and very gently cook till the eggs are just barely set. You don't want to overcook this. Add a little cheese on top, optionally. Serve that with bread, and it's that simple. What should we try first?
This one's giving me a lot more breakfast energy for me, so I'm gonna get in here first.
It's insane. It got really cold outside, and this feels like such a nice warming presence. This is a great breakfast to start off the day, on any day. I didn't know how the bread was gonna go with it, but that soft texture on top of another soft texture wasn't a problem. It was just a really good taste.
Whatever that light green spicy pepper in there, it's like the perfect amount of heat, and also the flavor is a little bit more subtle than a jalapeno.
You got cooked down concassé tomato essentially, red bell pepper for a little bit of sweetness, and then you have this green pepper that provides an herbaceousness, a little bit more of a vegetable flavor, but then there's the egg egg, it's custardy, it's juicy, it's cheesy. I mean, it's kind of like everything that you like about many breakfasts in the world in one. But it's funny you bring up needing to warm up because we have a bowl of warm pho, which I would argue is maybe the perfect item for the winter.
This is light, refreshing. I can feel good about going along the day if I had some for breakfast, but the Menemen is a flavor punch.
I don't know that I would say this is less flavorful.
Less spicy.
It's definitely less spicy, but I think pho is all about flavor. They're both good in their own right. What do you think? David never came here to taste anything. He came here to eat. Time to vote. 1, 2, 3. Wow, unanimous. I'm not saying that this dish is better than this. I'm just saying that this is a better breakfast dish than this.
I wish I grew up in Vietnam eating pho for breakfast every day and associated that with breakfast, but unfortunately I didn't, and so this eggy, peppery, bready dish just gave more breakfast energy to me. I couldn't help it.
I fully agree.
Turkey moves on to the next round. On to our final round one matchup, Brazil versus Australia. Two places.
Watching all these food videos makes me hungry. Alright, I'm gonna go make something to eat anyways.